Nice.
Line forms out front.
Here we go. Bridges 5-1-2, Enevoldsen 6-2. Enevoldsen will start off with an Aether Vial. Bridges will take a draw step. He has a Swamp and a passing of the turn. Enevoldsen will take the Vial up to 1. He's got another Vial here. And just a boring passing of the turn, so Tomas really relying on Aether Vial to get the job done this game. Looks like Bridges does have a young Pyromancer to play.
This deck is just all over the place. I've not seen this in action before.
Yeah, it's a little all over the place, to say the least. It's got a little Entomb Reanimate engine. It's got Cabal Therapy. It has a Dread Return that you can Entomb for. There, what can't you do?
This is very Sam Black style.
Yeah, it really, really is. Mother of Rune's going to come in through the Vial. Vial's on 2-1 right now. Another Mother of Rune's going to come into play. And Enevoldsen going to maybe attack. He'll just pass the turn back instead. Bridges will draw. It's a copy of Entomb.
So you can Entomb for Dread Return. Oh yeah, I'm starting to get it. Taking me a moment.
Yep.
There's a lot of ins, a lot of outs.
You can cast a Faithless Looting and get Elemental Token. That's one thing you can definitely do.
Exciting stuff.
2 cards coming here for Bridges. 2 cards, of course, will have to go to the graveyard momentarily.
Innocent Blood, all sorts of combos.
Basically free.
Basically free.
We can't forget, too, the combination with Cabal Therapy and Young Pyromancer. There's that, too.
It's a lot of ins, a lot of outs.
No one said it would be easy to play. There goes Grave Titan. There goes Scrubland. Faithless Looting done resolving.
It sort of looks like Sam Black's old Grave Crawler deck slapped together with Gerard's Team Italia deck.
Slapped together with a Reanimator deck.
Right.
Here's Innocent Blood.
It's like you shuffled a third of all the decks together.
Innocent Blood will take care of an Elemental Token, but then it will replace itself, see? So that's why it's
just...
Yep. You get it.
Starting to.
Yep.
There's a lot to get.
Young Pyromancer's feeling a little frisky.
Oh.
This feels a little dangerous. There's a Sarah Avenger on the cheap.
Yeah.
Not sure I love that attack into 2 active Aether Vials.
The other thing here is that I think that if Alex wins this game, it's just by overpowering Thomas to such a degree that 2 points of damage here, 2 points of damage there doesn't really matter.
Here's an Entomb before blockers. Dread Return. It's going to be placed into the graveyard. There goes Young Pyromancer, however, thanks to the Sarah Avenger. So now we're 1 creature away from being able to put a Grave Titan into play. Mother of Rune's number 3 going to come in. Vials are going to take up to 3 and 2.
I mean, with Entomb in hand there, Alex could... a line of play I think I would have preferred was to Therapy on Swords to Plowshares, Entomb for either, you know, if you want Grave Titan or Ellis Dorn, depending on what Thomas's hand looks like. And then he doesn't have that much time to draw out of it.
Yeah. Enevoldsen has a little army here of white creatures, 2 Mother of Runes that are active, along with a Sarah Avenger. Avenger's going to come into the red zone. Vigilance, of course. So Bridges is going to go down a little bit lower to 17. Enevoldsen with a 2nd land, and we'll just pass the turn back over to Bridges. Bridges will draw. The things Young Pyromancer can do in this deck are pretty impressive, as here's a Faithless Looting. 2 cards coming. None of them creatures, though. Looks like just 2 lands. Those lightning bolts have gotten bad quickly.
Yep.
So there goes a lightning bolt and a land. Now here's a Bloodstained Mire. Now there's a Cabal Therapy. So we'll see what Bridges elects to name here. Certain Fire Ice and Batterskull all the cards in hand.
I would have to imagine it's Swords to Plowshares. You know, that's what's preventing the coast from being clear here on his Grave Titan.
He went with Stoneforge Mystic as the weapon of choice. Now here is a sword. Clearly missed, however. The draw here, Bloodstained Mire. Looks like we're going to flashback Faceless Looting, get a little deeper into the deck. Absolutely.
And now with a sword here plus a 3/3, even Ellis Nord or Grave Titan. No guarantee that's good enough.
Yeah. Creature has Vigilance. Mighty important.
Can play over the top of Ellis Nord. It's still a lot of damage. I mean, it's 5 even if Ellis Nord gets into play.
Oh, Sword and Fire Knight's no joke.
No.
Two cards get discarded. And now Bridges is going to sacrifice his Bloodstained Mire, go search up a land, presumably to cast a Deathrite Shaman. And that will allow him to flash back Dread Return, as 3 creatures will be in play to get back his Grave Titan if he'd like. And then it's kind of Grave Titan versus the world. And oddly enough, this bunch of stupid white creatures might be better than the Grave Titan.
The Nitwit army.
Yeah. Yep, there's Deathrite. There go the creatures. Here comes Grave Titan along with 2 zombies, so long as Bridges does remember the trigger.
But this is 7 points of damage a turn.
He will have to remove the Dread Return from his graveyard. I think that's important here. There we go. It's pretty free.
Right.
It's pretty free, but it's not that free. Enevoldsen will draw. Quickly equip. Come into the red zone. He's been here before with Death and Taxes. So it's a healthy attack there for 5 plus a trigger, makes it 7.
Now, there's some way for Alex to get an Ellis Nord into play. He's got a shot. At that point, the race really swings around.
Yeah, for sure. Waste ain't going to take care of Scrubland. Tomas will pass the turn back. Verdant Catacombs to draw. Here come the zombies. Grave Titan going to come into the red zone. And a simple block there. And also with a very high life total, so you can use that as a resource in this situation. But Sarah Avenger flying and then holding a sword makes her a very, very quick clock. It'll be a flashback Faithless Looting, but I'm not sure what Bridges is going to be able to find here.
Well, if it's... How many copies of Dread Return are in the deck? Just the one?
Just the one to entomb for.
I was going to say, if he has a way to get a creature into play, a Dread Return and an Ellis Nord.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just the perfect bunch of cards.
Right. Legacy's a format with a lot of redraws. That's a function of there being a lot of cantrips and a lot of 0 mana spells. So, even when things are looking dire, often decks have some weird, as you call it, through the back door way, through the side door way of getting out of things.
Yeah. Enevoldsen going to Violin and Stoneforge Mist to get himself a new Zawas GT. Add that to the Battered Skull in his hand. Plenty of equipment here for Tomas. Drew a Vial for the turn. Doesn't need another one of those, but this is a pretty good attack. Trigger from the sword is going to get the job done. Enevoldsen's going to win game number 1 here over Alex Bridges. Death and Taxes up a game here over Young Frankenstein as we go to the sideboards. And we'll take a look at Bridges first. He's got 2 surgical extractions. He's got an Abrupt Decay, a Pithing Needle, 2 copies of Merciless Executioner, a Cabal Therapy, some Spirit of the Labyrinths, and Ancient Grudges, a Cyber Insanity, a Wear Tear Pyroblast, and a Red Elemental Blast.
I like having some number of grudges. 2's, I don't know if 2 is too many, but I would definitely bring in some number. The Abrupt Decay and the Needle. That's about it. I think Wear Tear is fine also.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird deck to try to sideboard with, too, you know, just what's going to come in, what's going to come out, what packages really matter and which ones don't.
Exactly. On the other side here, Thomas with 2 copies of Present Peace, 2 copies of Cataclysm, a Pithing Needle, a Sunlance, a Dust Elemental, a Relic of Progenitus, 2 copies of Containment Priest, 2 Aethersworn Canonist, 2 copies of Council's Judgment, and 1 card, which I cannot read. Is that Dismember?
That's Dismember.
Dismember. So I like the Council's Judgment. I like the 2 copies of Containment Priest, the anti-artifact stuff, and I think because he saw Young Pyromancer, we might see the Sunlands come in here as well.
Sure, I could see that.
Yeah.
See that. Now, during that match, you guys may have seen the Elemental token that Young Pyromancer were making. It was Dylan Donegan's Invitational winning token, which are now available at a couple different places.
Yep. It's for every 20K Open Series player, like everyone participating in this tournament, 5K Premium IQ players, and all orders from StarCityGames.com in excess of $5 will receive this token.
Congratulations again to Dylan Donegan, the youngster still in high school, winning an invitational. He's got to be the talk of the town.
I would imagine so.
When I was 17 or 18, if I had a cool $10,000, I'd be pretty popular too.
Yeah, I never did anything that cool in high school.
And now he's got his own token as well.
You played sports at least, right?
I mean, I wrestled.
You had kind of an in.
Yeah.
Cool.
What did you do? Debate?
Debate. I was the student body representative for the Board of Education meetings.
Dude,
in our town.
that's cool.
I was briefly the president of the Junior Statesmen of America.
Also cool.
Model Congress president for a little while.
Super cool.
Participated in mock trial, Model United Nations. Voted most political in my high school senior yearbook.
I stopped saying cool a while ago.
It's a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah. Dude, you were lame.
Kinda. I was kind of lame.
Wow. Wow. You know what I did?
Wrestled, played video games.
Yes.
Super cool.
Duh.
See, but now we're adults, and that stuff isn't cool anymore.
Isn't it, though? Isn't it?
That's the thing. Eventually, you stop being in high school, and then you're in the real world, and some of the things that were cool are no longer cool.
You're right, like magic.
You know, magic is actually a good path to learn life skills that are hard to learn in other places, and opens up some professional doors to you that other things can't. So that's okay.
We are in the real world. We have a wolf on our lapel, and we are talking about Young Frankenstein versus Death and Taxes.
Listen, when I was in
Just
high school,
how the guidance counselor drew it up.
Exactly. You know, back when I was in high school, I thought I was going to work in the United Nations or some nonprofit, and that didn't quite shake out. But I wear a tie. I mean, that's pretty real. I don't know.
Now, if someone can teach you how to tie a tie, we'll be moving in the right direction.
That'd be a good start.
That would be nice. That would be nice. You do wear one. You are right about that.
My paycheck clears. I don't know. How real do we need to get here?
Yeah, that's true. Your definition of real might be different than someone else's. Yet here we are. Here we are, somehow, some way.
I pay bills. You know, bills show up. I pay them.
That's a good thing to do. Good credit's a good thing to have.
I don't know. It feels like a lot of these definitions are arbitrary.
We're just kind of drawing lines at random.
Right.
That's what we're doing.
And a lot of my lawyer friends, for the record, are firmly ensconced in not the real world. So, whatever. Things shook out just fine for the time being.
Hey, you're happy. I'm happy.
Happy enough.
Yeah, here we are. We'll get snowed in tomorrow. We'll both be furious. It'll be great.
Yep.
But in the meantime, we're going to watch the magic here between Thomas Enevoldsen and Alex Bridges. It looks like they're both going to go down to 6 cards.
I'm sure Alex's deck mulligans a fair bit.
I would have to imagine so. Though, he did some powerful things in the early stages of that game that I was actually kind of impressed with.
Yeah, his deck was humming. I think that if he doesn't attack with the Young Pyromancer there, it's possible he just, if not wins the game, at least puts up a much better fight.
Yeah, I think so too. See Ben Weinberg behind Thomas Enevoldsen playing for a 9-0. Maybe the top of the standings here after day number 1 with Storm. Been a good tournament for him. Good tournament for Thomas too.
Mm-hmm.
Death and Taxes. Don't know what that's going to look like now with the changes to the metagame with Treasure Cruise out. Don't know if it's going to be on the incline, be on the decline, or just kind of where it was.
I don't know. There's a little bit more confusion, I think, on what your hate bear slots want to look like. Before, when there's one deck that's sort of dwarfing out everything else, you can really focus your hate bears on things like Spirit of the Labyrinth and Thalia and so forth. It's a little bit more complicated now, but the deck was very good pre-Constant Arc here, and I see no reason for it to not be good after the Treasure Cruise ban.
Well, both players take a look at 6 cards now. Bridges will be on the play. And will he keep with 8? Would he keep with 9? We'll never know.
Looks like 1 land, Deathrite Shaman, not a fetch land, and a bunch of red spells. So that's the type of hand that's on, draw a red mana next turn or you're out.
Well, Thomas has found a hand that he's happy enough with, so he's got 6 cards. Bridges is going to take a look at 5. Let's see if Mr. Enevoldsen has any spice this weekend.
Old Dust Elemental's pretty spicy.
Is that in there? Oh,
In
he
the
does have
board.
Old Dusty. I had to ask about that one.
Old Dusty.
I had that in Two-Headed Giant PTQ once. It was really good. Maybe, I don't know, man, I don't know why Dusty's in there. That's a good question, actually.
These Death and Taxes players, that is just awesome. It's probably, it's probably awesome in the mirror match, right? Or, I don't know. It's a weird package of keywords too, like flying and fear. You really can't block this thing.
I do like that.
You need a white flyer to block this thing.
I do like that it has fear.
Super specific.
Yeah. And flash. And here's the dust.
Right.
Out of nowhere.
Well, the Dust Elemental having flash is awesome. Also, at a certain point, Magic got really off the rails with, initially elementals were things that were actually elements, and eventually they started printing War Elemental and Dust Elemental. I think that the jumping of the shark was probably Wood Elemental is my guess. I can't think of one before that. But this card is preposterous. The name's preposterous. Flying and Fear together. This is, I mean, Time Spiral just has a lot of cards like this. This like, what the hell is going on here?
I do wonder what the art request was for old Dusty when you send that in.
Yeah. Show a mound of dust, make it sort of look like a dragon. It should be terrorizing some soldiers.
And done.
And done.
Mirror Crusader here for Enevoldsen.
And I think the moving parts element of Alex's deck is kind of haunting him here, as his hand is pretty rough.
Yeah, it's a little all over the place at this point. He did have Innocent Blood to take care of Stoneforge Mystic, had Lightning Bolt to take care of Mother of Runes, but Mirror Crusader, no answer just yet, and that's the kind of card that can run away with a game very quickly.
Yeah, this is a really fast clock. It's going to be backed up by Rashadenport here. This is big time trouble for Alex.
Yeah, Enevoldsen might just have some interest in just saying, attack, play GT, don't equip,
yep,
and then port you.
I like it.
Or he might just play a Stoneforge Mystic too. He's got plenty of options at this point. He's got an opponent stuck on one line with a Rashadenport. I would want to move that direction.
Although Mirror and Crusader and GT is a tough combo to give up on, because that kills someone real fast.
Yeah, I can't pass up on a port activation myself.
No, I can't either.
I love it so much. Lightning Bolt to draw.
Oh, and now you get to equip the Jitte, and the bolt doesn't even work anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Wasteland you too, in case you wanted to play anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to go on a limb here and guess that Thomas wasn't making eye contact with Alex when he played that Wasteland.
Thomas Enevoldsen is going to win this match over Alex Bridges, 2-0. Rather easy W for him. Death and Taxes moves on to 7-2. We'll see him tomorrow at some point.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot to say about those set of games. The Death and Taxes deck just works. Alex's deck sometimes just doesn't work, and that's kind of what that match boiled down to.
Yep. Pretty straightforward stuff there from Death and Taxes.